The world has spoken. Avengers Endgame is shattering box office records around the world.
Whatever it takes.
Avengers Endgame, rated PG-13.
What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on the future of Chris Hemsworth Thor in Marvel and how he is nowhere near done with the MCU. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel DC pop culture based content. So we currently have a competition, if you are interested, to win a Hasbro Infinity Gauntlet, which I have showed off on my Instagram page at Warstu, and we have showed it off on this channel multiple times. And also when we do, if we do ever hit 100,000 subscribers, it would be insane. We will be giving away a PS4 or a PS5 or an Xbox One X or the newer Xbox, depending on when or if we ever hit it. So that's just a cool prize that I'm going to give away to say thank you to the support we've had on the channel over the last 1 to 2 years. So let's get into this video. So Thor has had a very interesting journey through the MCU with Thor 1, Thor 2, Thor 3, Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, which recently just came out, so careful for spoilers. Although this is the second weekend the movie has been out, so spoilers are everywhere. So Thor reinvented himself in Thor Ragnarok. As you guys like to say, I butcher that name, so let's just call it Thor 3, which was interesting. He went through a completely different transformation, going from his iconic long hair to the short hair, courtesy of Stan Lee's cameo. So then we had Infinity War, which absolutely crushed him as a character, but still fans love his character throughout Infinity War and Thor Ragnarok. Then Endgame is interesting. He goes for the head, he kills Thanos, and then he gives up on life because he's going through a state of depression, and that's caused a lot of controversy with the way Thor looked, but Thor is still a badass. The end of Endgame was awesome. He got his Viking beard, he wielded Mjolnir or Mjolnir, and Stormbreaker at the same time. He proved he still is one of the strongest Avengers, if not the strongest Avenger. So the movie ended with him going off with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh no, wait, I mean the Asgardians of the Galaxy. He went off for them, which is a cheeky wink that he will be in, potentially, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Why? Because it wouldn't make much sense for him to go off with the Guardians and then not appear in their movie. So, who's he looking for? Is he looking for Loki? No, because Thor doesn't actually know that Loki from the other timeline got the Space Stone and disappeared. So maybe if Loki's going to be alive, he will reappear in that movie, which would make a lot of sense. But not before he gave away New Asgard, as they like to call it, to Valkyrie. So we do know Valkyrie will be appearing in some kind of movie. Thor 4 would make a lot of sense. Recently, she did come out and say that there has been talks and Thor 4 has already been pitched. Now, this does line up with something very interesting. So not a lot of people know this, that back in 2017, 2 years ago, Chris Hemsworth renegotiated his contract, which included Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and according to THR, it also included the next phase of films. Now, we can't really call it Phase 4, but because it was called Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, everyone seems to think it's going to be called Phase 4. But now they've wrapped up calling it the Infinity Saga. So, he has put himself, apparently, this isn't confirmed, this is just what reports say, in the $15 to $20 million bracket per movie, which isn't really that much for an actor of his caliber. You know, he's in Men in Black, the new one. He's in a lot of movies recently. So that's not really a lot for him. So he has cemented his future in the MCU in at least another few movies. So it is pretty interesting. And also, this comes out. Speaking of the third Guardians, according to THR, it states it's expected to shoot in 2020. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has had a bit of a bumpy ride. The film was slated to start pre-production last year, but then came to an abrupt halt when director James Gunn was fired over the controversy. After Gunn's firing, Guardian was put on hold. Now Gunn is back in the director's chair. It looks like the movie is ready to finally get off the ground. There is still no official release date, but this is what we know. If it's going to start shooting next year, most likely 2021 or 2022. We do know that Marvel has multiple empty slots for release dates, which is pretty interesting. So if everything aligns, then it looks like Thor could be appearing in Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, he did say in Endgame as Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a direct comic book. I don't think they're going to change the name of the movie, and I don't think Thor's physical appearance in Endgame is going to be what he's going to be like for the rest of his character. I just think it was a little kind of thing they did for Endgame to show how badly it affected a god. Now, how we derive at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is very interesting, because as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 post-credit scene, it set up Adam Warlock. And then, obviously, in the current timeline, we had Infinity War. So everyone was expecting Adam Warlock to come down and be a centric part of defeating Thanos. Now, that never happened. And to be fair, James Gunn did state that Adam Warlock was never going to be in Infinity War. So, now we know they're going more cosmic in this phase, or whatever they call it, because they haven't officially said anything. Kevin Feige did say they will be announcing a bunch of stuff after Far From Home, so most likely at San Diego Comic-Con in July. So they're going more cosmic. So obviously we've got Guardians 3, Captain Marvel, she's OP, she is so cosmic. Then the Eternals, which they kind of did tease up the Celestials. With the description of Volmir, it does hint at a Celestial connection, if any of you guys did pick up that connection. So it's going cosmic. So it only makes sense for Adam Warlock to be introduced or feature or even be the villain for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, yes, Adam Warlock is a hero, but he's borderline morally a villain at the same time. So if Thor is going to feature, then it would make sense, because the Guardians at this state, they don't have Gamora. Although 2014 Gamora is still alive, they will most likely be going to look for her, but I can't see the narrative of the whole movie being based around that. So if they do have someone with Thor's crazy god of thunder, Stormbreaker powers on board, then they could introduce Adam Warlock without it being ridiculous. So that is one possibility of how Adam Warlock, we know the cocoon's there, we know indirectly he already exists in the MCU, we just haven't physically seen him. Now, fans on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all over the MCU have been calling for Adam Warlock for such a long time. It was a shame that they couldn't work something out for Infinity War or Endgame like everyone thought, because he was pinnacle to the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. But hopefully we will get him inside the next phase of Marvel, whatever that may be. Now, if you don't know who Adam Warlock is, then you're missing out, because Adam Warlock isn't actually a villain like most people think he is. He may have been created with sinister intentions in mind. He has carved out a hero's life for himself, in addition to generally and functioning to do good in the universe. He's also teamed up with noble Marvel heroes many times in the face of incredibly dangerous threat. He certainly has his dark days and has questionable morals at times, but he isn't a villain. But they could put Thor versus Adam Warlock in the MCU. It's going to be particularly interesting to see how Adam Warlock plays out, because he has tremendous powers and abilities on a cosmic manipulation level. He's just insane, and he would be one of the strongest cosmic beings that they would introduce to the MCU. As you know, at the moment, Captain Marvel is the strongest Avenger, apparently. Well, that's not really what Kevin Feige said. Kevin Feige said that she's the strongest character they've introduced, not the strongest Avenger. So if and when Adam Warlock does show up during Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, it's going to be pretty damn epic to see which path they take. Is he going to be a villain? Is he going to be a hero? I'm hoping he does both routes. It would be very interesting to see him rebel against the Guardians and Thor, but it would be interesting to see him work with them. As we know, he was a pinnacle part of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, but for some reason Marvel didn't want to show you that. So it is going to be very interesting to see how he pans out into this massive MCU universe, which has now got the multiverse and time travel. It is literally, they can do literally anything now, and we know we're getting the Fantastic Four, X-Men, Deadpool characters, all the Fox universe characters at some point within the next 5 to 10 years. So it's going to be very fascinating to see how and when, if they use Adam Warlock. But one thing is for sure, is that teaser at the end with Thor joining the Guardians was not trolling. But what is interesting is Adam Warlock's teamed up with Gamora before, and also the Mad Titans. So it's really hard to figure out which way they're going to throw this character in the MCU. But a badass fight between Thor and Adam Warlock would be insane. We never got to see Adam Warlock punch Thanos in the face, and maybe he'll punch Thor in the face instead. Anyway, guys, let me know down below. Do you think Thor is getting another movie? I mean, the reports about his new contract does make sense, and Adam Warlock is kind of been teasing the MCU for many years. And Guardians 3, it has to happen. We've seen the Cocoon. If he doesn't appear in Guardians 3, James Gunn's going to get a lot of questions. But anyway, guys, I will keep you up to date with all the latest, greatest news, theories, breakdown, everything that we do on this channel, and I will get you in another video very soon. Catch you later.